everybody. Welcome back to our mixtapes. We're excited to do our holiday edition. As much as, and if anyone knows me, holiday edition doesn't mean that much to me, but I understand fully. I've been called the Grinch in my lifetime, so many a time. But that doesn't mean that we don't like to celebrate the holidays and enjoy Christmas music, which is, as we all learned, become a big part of rock groups and putting out Christmas and Christmas songs. They go hand in hand, invariably, music and Christmas carols. And now we have, I'm sure, since the dawn of time, people have been putting out Christmas albums and Christmas songs. And as we've learned, and I don't want to speak for them, that there are a lot of Christmas songs out there that you know or don't know. So we decided to put our own spin on it this time. Without further ado, let me start. I get to start out, Mr. Christmas myself. And I started out with Winter by the Rolling Stones, which is an interesting song. I think I picked this song because I thought it'd be a good introduction, because this is my first winter without a real winter. I'm in Texas now, where winter isn't winter in Ohio, it's winter and thing. And this song is kind of a reflection of that. The interesting thing about this song is that was done, it's on Goathead Soup, and it was actually done without Keith Richards. Mick Jagger came up with it. In fact, it's kind of interesting. They were in Jamaica or the Caribbean doing this album, and Mick Jagger decided, hey, winter, he wanted to write a little song about winter. So he got a hold of Mick Taylor. And of course, you can hear his slide guitar work on that, and it's excellent. But I thought this was a great song to kick it off. And it does it reminds me, of course, of how winter is. And it can be a slog sometimes, but at the same time, it also talks about missing the Christmas lights and missing that, what is part of Christmas and what is part of being part of winter, and which is part of the holiday season. So I thought this was kind of an appropriate song to start it off with. I just think it's a fantastic song. It's an often overlooked song on Goat's Head Soup. I mean, Rolling Stones obviously have a lot of songs. Of course, they're touring now, so and the song was probably put out like 45 years ago. But I thought this was a good way to open it up.
At first, when I first heard it, I thought, man, what is Jose doing with this winter thing, And I was expecting something festive and Christmas and all of that. But we said, hey, holidays, and that time of year, and it took me a few times. I listened to the song a few times before I finally kind of got that vibe of okay. I mean, they mentioned Christmas in it a little bit. He says. And I wish I'd been out in Stone Canyon when the lights on all the Christmas trees went out, but I've been burning my bell, book, and candle, and the restoration plays have all gone round. So I mean, a little mention of Christmas there, at least. So it's not completely devoid of it, but no jingle bells, no sleigh rides, no none of that. But it's. I mean, anytime you can't not appreciate Mick Jagger, his voice, and the Rolling Stones, and so again, I thought it was an interesting choice to start the thing. But as I've listened to it a few times, and I can't say that for sure that I knew this song or that I could remember the song. I had the album Goat's Head Soup. I stole it from my sisters years ago when they were living. They bought it, and I went, oh, what's this? And of course, I like the song Angie, which is probably my favorite song on the album and everything. But I can't say that I listened to it end to end and I knew every song and all that. So when you played it, I knew the album, and then I went, oh, okay, I better probably need, like I said before on these mixtapes, I probably need to go back and listen to some of the music that I listened to instead of just skipping over and playing one or two songs. Listen to the whole album or all the tracks on it. So anyway, it grew on me, and I like it. So not a bad choice to start it off. We'll get into more of the Christmas stuff later in the playlist. But
yeah, I also had Goat Head Soup, and it was my mom's, and so I hung on to that one. but I have to say this is kind of like a blind spot this time period in my uh, following of Rolling Stones, because right before that I think was XL on Main Street, which it's one of my all-time favorite albums. I may be wrong on that, but it was not too long after that. And then after I think was Black and Blue, which I don't even know if I've heard. I think there was a song or two that were on the radio. And then it kind of starts getting into Some Girls and stuff. But there was this whole period, and so I never really listened to this record. I tried to, I'd scanned through it a couple of times, but I don't remember this winter song. I do remember Angie. The song that I'd always listen to on it is Heartbreaker, or do whatever it's called, and in parentheses Heartbreaker. That gets a lot of airplay, and it's pretty dark song. But this one, I just honestly I didn't know, and I appreciate you prompting me to take a new look at this record, because like I said, this one, and again, Black and Blue, I have no idea what's going on there. Was that the next one, Jose? Black and Blue? Do you know?
It is, and actually, that's a great album because it's the first album with Ronnie Woods. And if you ever want to hear some great guitar licks, that's an often overlooked album, and I highly recommend that album. Actually, it's one of my favorite. Well, as much as it doesn't have many hit songs, excellent guitar work on that.
Well, and I haven't been fair to those two records. It's like XL on Main Street, and then I really kind of skipped to Some Girls, But I'm going to give another listen. Anyway, haven't talked about the song. So yeah, this poor character in this song is like having talk about I would say winter discontent, the bleak midwinter. I mean, he's definitely not having a good time, but he is looking forward to, I believe, a girl, California, things, sunny times to come. And I've been there.
We've all
more or less. Maybe not the California part, but the rest of it. But yeah, I'm gonna have to check it out more. So my first song is by the band, and it's Christmas Must Be Tonight. I think it's off Islands, which I think is the last record that Robbie Robertson was affiliated with. I may be wrong, but I guess that, and I'm probably getting the history all wrong. I think they did it either while they were around the same time they were doing The Last Waltz, or just after. Again, I may be wrong. But I've always loved this song. I only heard it a few years ago. So I haven't always loved it. But I'd focus on Big Pink and the first album, and of course The Last Waltz. And I heard this, not on the record, somewhere else. I'm like, this is such a fantastic song. And I thought it was just a Rick Danko solo song. I think it was like a live version I heard that was him solo. But on this one, you have him and the drummer. His name's gonna escape me. Somebody help me out.
Levon Helms.
Levon Helm. How embarrassing! Of course, Levon Helm. And I think they're great on it. I think it's really, it surprises me that they have something, that talks about the nativity and all that stuff. And I think it's a really sweet song. It's very moving. So I had to put it on.
Now, if you ever want to get into Christmas mood, this is classic sounding band song. In fact, I think it sounds a little about like It Makes No Difference, if you ever heard that song. It kind of has that same kind of feel to it. And of course, it's distinctly a band song. Now, I will say, I probably skipped over the song kind of bit, even though as great as it really is. I will admit that getting reacquainted with it, it does put you in that Christmas feel. And it's a great song to listen to when you don't want to hear the traditional jingle bells, Santa Claus is coming to town. So I'm very tolerant of obviously hearing the band, and this song is really fantastic, and they nail it. A lot of times you hear those rock albums where they just put out, and you can just tell, I think they're just, hey, let's just cover, Christmas Tree or something like that. But this one, they go all out, and it's so original, and so, and it's such and them as musicians putting it out. So no, fantastic song.
Okay, you're gonna have to hold me back for a minute here because I'm gonna literally gush for just about a few minutes here. So this is my absolute favorite song that you have played and turned me on to out of all of the playlists, out of all of the songs. I have never heard the song. I'm big on Christmas music. And I literally in the last couple of weeks since we've made the playlist, I no joke, no joke, this is not an exaggeration. I've probably listened to it 40 or 50 times already. I have memorized every lyric. I could sing the whole song start to finish. I mean, it's that powerful to me. I have played it for everybody in my family. I said, hey, you have to hear this song. And all of them agree, they all love it. And this is the essence of why we are doing what we're doing. It's not for everyone else, it's for us. And this epitomizes exactly what we're doing. Hey, oh, have you heard this song? No, I haven't. Where has this song been? And I know from 1977 or 75 or whatever, I've listened to the band. I listened to the Christmas songs during the holidays. I don't know how it has ever escaped me. But literally, this song pierced my heart. I love the style of it. I love the lyrics of it. Like you said, that they can weave into it. You almost don't know you're listening to it. And then you're like, oh, they're talking about the baby Jesus. Oh, it's about the nativity. Oh, the three wise men are coming. Oh, the star. Oh, they all the symbolism they put into the song, but it's not in your face. It's just like, oh, this is a cool folk song, and I just love the message of it. I love the song. So thanks, Mike, because again, this is why we're doing what we do. Would never have stumbled across this song, and now it not only is one of my favorite songs, but it's going to make the holiday even that much better for me, right? Because of it, and so can't put a price tag on that. I know I'm gushing and rambling on about it, but I'm like, where did this song come from? So loved it, loved it, loved it. Written by Robbie Robertson, but as you said, I think is it Rick Danko on the vocals, or is that who is singing that? Is it?
Yeah.
He's the main singer, and then Levon Helm kind of pipes in, I think, during the chorus.
And even the vibey electric piano in the background of that towards the end is just way cool. Just really like it. So anyway,
I guess we can end it. We can end right here.
There you go.
Hallelujah. Yeah. So if anyone's watching this and you go to their playlist, you gotta see the song. Now, unfortunately, Jose, I'm going to tell you that I skipped Winter. I watched it. I listened to it 40 or 50 times. So there were a couple of times where I started to play the whole playlist, and I got a couple of seconds into Winter and went, nope, we're going to Christmas Must Be Tonight. And then I played it again. And then I'd listen to a little further down the list and I go back to it again. And so unfortunately, you have the misfortune of being the second song on the list. I'll try to listen to all the way through Winter a few more times, but
that dreary song.
Right. So anyway, so then it was my turn to put a song on, and I'm like, I kind of did sort of the same thing that Jose did. I didn't really go with a Christmassy song, but there was a cool Gordon Lightfoot song that I've always liked, and they mentioned Christmas in it. They even mentioned Deck the Halls, but it's more of a somber piece about maybe being in poverty and living in a place where, yeah, the holidays are going on around you, but for some people it's everyday life and it's hard, and they I just like the lyrics of the song. It's called Circle of Steel. And at first you think circle of steel, like maybe a big roulette wheel, right? Where you place your bets on a great big wheel. And that's kind of what he's saying is, man, some people are lucky and some people aren't. And for those who aren't, they still have to get through the holidays and get through the Christmas time. and maybe they're listening to the flat next door where they're shouting all day and having fun and having the merriment, and here you're over here barely making rent with rats running around, and your husband or father's in jail, and all of that. So it's kind of a downer kind of a tune in a way, but I've always loved it, so I thought I'd put it on. It seemed like it would. Anyway, I wanted to get it out there.
Yeah, it's a hard song. I'm not saying I don't like it. I do like it. But what I really like about this, and a lot of the rest of this playlist is, we're not going for the popular, even if done by rock stars or whatever, the popular Santa songs, are going totally into the real sacred stuff, or whatever in between. I like how we're really, and there's other songs that will come up in a minute. We're like, there's more going on at Christmas than, not everybody has a family that they're around. Not everybody has money. In the case of this song, she's going to lose her baby in a week. It's a healthy baby boy, but it sounds like she's going to lose. They're going to take her kid away. She's obviously, if I understood it, she has at least issues with drinking, probably pretty hardcore, and she's living in a really rough place. But, and this is again addressed in at least one or two other songs. That's the kind of people, for a lot of people, that's what Christmas is about, is like remembering those people and maybe pitching in a little bit to help, go down and volunteer at the food bank or whatever. One year we delivered, with this thing, what was it? Turkey something. Anyway, and we went down, and this restaurant made just tons of these meals to go. And we were supposed to take them to like these homeless shelters and stuff, but they'd all gotten all they wanted. So we just drove around giving them to people. And that felt great. But the thing is, I'm not real good at doing that all year. And I think, I'm not sure if this is addressed much in here. I'm really getting off on a tangent. I apologize, guys. But it should be something all year. It's like, but this is when we think of it. It's really tied to this. And like I said, some other songs address this, and I think that's why this is a really important song. I appreciate it. I do like Gordon Lightfoot, and you can't dance to this, but it's hard to say I enjoy it, but it's very meaningful, and it's well written and well done. So thank you.
Now, I'm going to echo those sentiments, and that's one of the things people always ask me, Jose, and we were talking about this all. What is it about Christmas that you don't like? Well, it's not that really I don't like Christmas per se, or whatever your feelings are about Christmas. But I agree in the sentiment that, why do we wait till Christmas to have to deal with some of these? Like, oh, you got to be nice to your neighbor for a month, or you got to be nice to people and be happy and cheery. And that's just not my fault. I'm a person who believes that, why isn't this done year round? Why can't we all? Now, granted, we're not going to have, not every day is Christmas. And obviously, this is a reflection of that as well, that these people, and the thing I really like about this song, and believe me, Dave, I love this song, is that it gives you that Christmas feeling, but it's telling a different story. It's not telling you the traditional Christmas. And that's one of the reasons I really love that song. And I agree with, it's not all love and Christmas carols. Yes, we all have that, and we all have had our moments. But for some people, it's not like that, and people are reminded, oh yes, we should always be like this, or we should always have this sentiment, but they don't. And they wait till Christmas, and all of a sudden you have these people like, oh, we should be charitable, and we should be doing this. And it's like, what? That should be a year-round thing. Again, I don't expect everyone to exchange gifts every day and have a big Christmas, because that's just not the way that life is. But just a fantastic song. And I love how you can hear the Christmas there, but you can also feel the sentiment of, really appreciate Christmas for what it is at some point, because people don't have what they, don't have everything that other people have. And so that's why I enjoyed that song. So again, Dave, great song. And, full admission, I've been going to half price. I've been buying these albums from these people now, you guys have been suggesting, and here I'm going to these, like, I'm gonna buy this because I heard this song. I know it's terrible. Like I need another album in my life, but man, I just can't get enough of these, and it's fun to get those albums. So, of course, to completely veer off and have a song that has nothing to do with Christmas, because it really doesn't in a sense, but it's called Holiday. And since no one makes the real rules around here, I went with Holiday by the Scorpions. And as Dave knows, we had our little, heavy metal phase there. And the Scorpions were huge back in the early 80s, of course. And we went to go see the Scorpions, with Iron Maiden. And this was one of those songs that kind of takes you by surprise because it's not a heavy metal song. It's a ballad, and of course it's it's a nice sentiment. It's a ballad. It's a rock, but is it a rock ballad? Yeah, of course it is. But at the same time, it's a beautiful song. And to be honest, the lyrics are kind of cheesy. There's just no doubt about it. There's nothing heartfelt. Let me take you far away. You'd like a holiday. Sure, we'd all like a holiday. The good time, but the good times and the bad. So it's just one of those songs that I've really enjoyed immensely. And my concert, the ones when we saw the Scorpions in '82, they actually played this song. And the funny thing was, when we went to go see them, I don't think they didn't play it in Dallas because I talked to my brothers about it. But at our concert, a fight broke out right before the end of the thing in the crowd. And when Klaus Meine, the lead singer of Scorpions, came out, he said, "We're going to do a special song for you guys." And they played Holiday. And of course, all my brothers were jealous because we got that song and they did not. So, but I just think it's one of those songs where it's about holiday. We all like a little holiday, but that's one of the reasons I just put it on there.
Yeah, it's not Christmassy, but I hadn't heard the song in forever, and so for me it was just like, oh, this is one of the way cool rock song I used to like a lot. And again, I hadn't heard it in years, and it did bring back those memories. I remember the concert. I think it was Scorpions, Iron Maiden, and Girls School.
That's right.
Was the lineup of that concert, which again is the only time I saw Iron Maiden either. I think that was the only time. So I don't think I appreciated it at the time because I was just getting into heavy metal and rock at that time. And it's these power ballads that got me hooked into it. It's not the hard stuff. It was like, oh, they play really cool melodic songs. Play that song. That was one of my favorites, And then I started getting into listening to more of the heavier stuff and the other tracks that were on there. That album, Love Drive, was great. Had a lot of great hit songs on that album that I liked. But hey, I didn't mind that it didn't have Christmas in it or whatever. I just, when it came on the playlist, I started rocking out, especially when it lulls you into that and then gets to the hard part, and longing for the sun. So it's like, oh yeah, this is Scorpions. I forgot, and love the vocals and the song. So I'll give you a pass on the fact that it's not a Christmas song, but it doesn't matter. We write the rules, and I liked going back to the past and hearing an old classic heavy metal song that I forgot about.
Well, to be completely honest, I never was much of a metal guy. There are a couple of bands I really like, but when it came to that, secretly I liked the ballads more. But I could never say that to my friends because they would give me an endless hard time. It's like, what are you, a wuss? What are you? It's like you got to listen. That's the girl stuff. That's the girl stuff. You can't listen to that. They do that for the girls. And I completely disagree with that sentiment. This song, it's definitely, it starts in a minor. Well, it's a minor all the way through key. But it's a great sentiment. But then it's a mellow part at the beginning, but then it goes into, like you were just saying, that rocking part. That really, I'm like, okay, I like this now. This is cool. This is awesome. And it was like, okay, I don't have to start my next song on something really mellow. I can, which is I appreciate. I don't know if I'll ever become a Scorpions fan. I've heard enough of their stuff, but I won't turn my nose up to them either. And I appreciate appreciate this. I had never heard this song. Maybe I did and I forgot. I remember, they had another ballad that got played a lot. But I cannot remember it right now. So, which is nothing new. That's kind of the story of my life.
Well, Mike, maybe we should do rock power ballads at some point. Just, I like the power ballads. We like to.
All right. All right. All right. I think even I could probably find something. Yeah, I could find quite a few. Anyway, Ozzy Osbourne and Black Sabbath. You know, they have I would like some of the Black Sabbath songs that again, I go, oh, that's a good song. And my friends would be like, you know, you're hopeless. Anyway, so next one's mine. This one, I'll just say first, it's Fairy Tale of New York. It's the Pogues with Christy McCall singing along with Shane MacGowan, who sang on most of the Pogue songs. There were some instrumentals, and then he left at some point, the last couple albums, I guess. In fact, Joe Strummer sang on some of the later albums, or at least one of them. Anyway, it's the interesting thing. Before I get into the song, we made this playlist about 2 weeks ago, give or take a little bit, and I put on a few. This would maybe be the third Pogue song I put on, now a couple of days ago, Shane MacGowan, who I think of mainly when I think of them, I think of him. He's the guy. He's the singer. He died, which the first thing I saw after that happened was a friend of mine posted something like, he was still alive. How did he make it this far? Because I don't want to go too much into this because we may do another playlist about people who died this year, musicians. And honestly, this is about the Christmas stuff. But I just want to point out that, yeah, between one and the other, this guy died. And in this song, his character certainly is not a teetotaler. I mean, he's a guy. It starts out in the drunk tank, and it's about this relationship between him and this girl, and it's definitely in the song, verse to verse. It's an up and down relationship. There's some words in there that I've never heard in a Christmas song before, and you know, it's clearly a love-hate relationship. They are like spewing this vitriol at each other, but then they're talking about, you know, for better or worse, you know, we're good together one way or another. And it's strangely enough, I've never heard it on like whenever you listen to stations playing all Christmas music, you're never going to hear it. But supposedly it's really big. Like I've seen concert videos where people are just on their feet about this. One other thing I'll add: Christy McCall also died a few years ago. She was scuba diving, snorkeling, excuse me, off of Cozumel, and somebody just hit her with a boat. Which is a shame. If you ever see the video, it's shame. That's not the way to put it. That's sad, obviously, but you should check out the video of this. They're singing to each other. She's standing next to the piano and he's playing. Anyway, this is one of my all-time favorite songs, and just thought I'd share it.
No, I think it couldn't be more timely. In addition to him passing away, and I think I told Mike this in a message, I think I've heard more Pogue songs now in the past 2 weeks than I've heard my whole entire life. And in addition to him passing away, the Kelsey brothers, Travis Kelce and his brother, did a song called Fairy Tale in Philadelphia, which is kind of an offshoot of this song. So I was like, oh my God, could this song be more timely at this moment? All of a sudden I'm hearing this, and then I'm hearing this, like, oh my God, you know, so you really tapped into something there. Now, as far as the song, I love the song because I think it does transport you. I don't want to sound a stereotypical Irish people getting drunk and fighting each other, but it almost takes you into an Irish pub. Like you could see this happening at an Irish pub or somewhere like that, or, you know, an Irish house where they're arguing, they're bickering, but they love each other. You know, it's out of love, but it's also out of, hey, you know, we'll say what we want to say. You know, we're drunk, but we're still in the Christmas. We're supposed to be in the Christmas spirit. So yeah, I found this a great timely song. It was kind of funny that all of a sudden the Kelsey, I'm like, oh my God, man, Mike has really tapped into something here. So enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, I'm quickly becoming a Pogues fan. I mentioned to you that I like the Celtic sounds. I like that. We'll probably come up with some other playlists where I slip in some different ones that different bands and other things that have that Celtic Irish feel to it. Love Van Morrison and the Chieftains, that kind of thing. So I'm already a fan of that, but I'd never heard this song again. This is another one where I've never heard. And as you said, it was kind of timely that the lead singer just passed away. Um, but I liked a couple of lyrics that I wanted to read. That at the end of all that cursing and swearing and fighting with each other, they say we kissed. No, we said they said. Oh, where was it? All the drunks they were singing, we kissed on a corner, then danced through the night. And then later on, it says they say after they start swearing at each other, they say, "Happy Christmas, you're ours. I pray God it's our last." And then the big hook that kind of brings it back to a Christmas thing at the end of the last two things is they say, "And the bells were ringing out for Christmas Day." So even after all of that, it's like there's something positive there. The bells are ringing. It's Christmas. We got to love each other, like we've already said. And but again, I like it. It'll probably be a fan favorite for me as well. Not sure if it's going to get some cancel culture because of some of the words and stuff that are in there now, things we can't say anymore. But yeah, like you said, transports you to. I'm sure they weren't thinking about that, if they were singing in an Irish pub in New York City or wherever, that at the time when it was written, it was probably very appropriate. So then the next song I chose was kind of stayed with the somber thing, and I just was looking for an opportunity to put this song on, or really any Jethro Tull, because we haven't played any Jethro Tull on any of our things. And I said, okay, I like this one. It's this Christmas song. It's kind of a downer too, but it's got that classic Jethro Tull acoustic sound to it, and maybe it's not Irish, but it's whatever Jethro Tull, whatever Ian Anderson and his group are, what nationality and background they are, whether I don't know if they're Scottish or where they're from, but I again, the song Christmas song, it's more of a negative, thing about, he goes through the nativity, he goes through all that, but then asks you some tough questions at the end, and is okay, this is your Christmas song, and but anyway, I thought it was trying to look for a place to put Jethro Tull on. This is one that had that I've listened to for many years. Again, it's a little bit somber and a little more down as well, but it still paints the right image of maybe we should be thinking of other things at Christmas, not just all the glitz and glamour. So anyway,
Yeah, this is
That's it.
earlier. This is one of the songs I was referring to about what we're really good at, what bringing out all our different things and looking more again at every aspect or many aspects of what's going on this time of year. I actually knew this song, but had forgotten it. And I can't believe I've forgotten it because I love it. He has taken no prisoners. I mean, he's telling what's what. And I'm also surprised we have not put any Jethro Tull on. I mean, knowing this crowd, I'm really surprised, but we'll get a chance. But yeah, there's some lines in there. I've listened to it several times. It's a shortish song, so sometimes I'll play it a couple times in a row. Lines like Christmas spirit. I may not get this exactly right, but Christmas spirit isn't something in a bottle or something like that. Then of course with the is not what. Yeah, there you go. Talking, when you're at your parties and eating all the food, what about your mom who's hungry, and all these other people, and I should really have the lyrics in front of me because there's several of them I like. And then of course on the Christmas spirit bottle thing or that you drink at the very end. I didn't hear this the first couple of times. But there's a whispered part, like after the music stops, where he's like, "Hey Santa," and again, I'm probably get the song like, "Hey Santa, bring me a bottle for Christmas," something like that. You can correct me if I didn't get that right, but thank you for putting this on, and I'm glad now because I will start playing it because again, I'd forgotten it.
Man, I'm feeling a little like, and I promise everyone, I didn't influence everybody to put these maudlin songs about Christmas as much as I'm not the most Christmassy person. It's kind of funny how it takes a turn, but that's what I love about you guys is that you guys don't go, we all don't we have the different feelings about these kind of things and songs like this, of course. Dave and I went to see Jethro Tull one time, and I love Jethro Tull. I think I say that concert was one of the top 10 concerts I've ever seen in my life when we went to go see him that one time. And this song really, it's like you said, he tells it like it is. And, it is, again, I'm not going to give into the whole, what Christmas is, what Christmas isn't, but this song really kind of is a reflection of that. And so sometimes when I feel kind of like, man, I should be more in the Christmas spirit, these kind of songs remind me that's right, Jose. There are other people out there that kind of think like you do, not in the sense that you should hate Christmas. Again, I applaud people who indulge in Christmas. I applaud people who have that quality that can really embrace it and go all out. Hey, do it. That's what you do. If that's what you do, then do it. As long as you're happy with it, then go for it. And but then again, there are other aspects of Christmas that you have to look at, and people always have a varying point of view. And this is one of those songs for sure. So, just a fantastic song. I love Jethro Tull. I agree with you, Mike. I am surprised because Dave and I listened to a lot of Jethro Tull, and it's amazing that he hasn't been hitting these playlists before. But I'm sure that's going to change over the course of time as well because we listen to a lot of Jethro Tull, and it's fun to listen to. So, and of course, keeping in that same vein because I am that guy. My favorite Christmas movie that comes around every year is this guy, A Year Without a Christmas. I love The Heat Miser. I love that whole thing. I just think it's hilarious. It's just one of those things that's kind of funny. But my second favorite, of course, is The Grinch. And we've had, obviously, because I've been called the Grinch before on numerous occasions. And so I thought, there have been different, you have the traditional Grinch, but then they've updated that numerous times. You've had the Jim Carrey one. But I thought, hey, let's really update it. And I know you guys love your hip hop and your rap. So I thought, I'm going to throw them a little curveball here and throw them this song, I Am the Grinch. And while it's the Grinch, and it's nothing new on the Grinch. It's just a different feel and a different take on the Grinch. And I just think it's a fantastic song. I think he exemplifies what the Grinch is or what he's trying to convey in this I Am the Grinch, in that kind of satirical, parody kind of way. And I think this song comes across like that. I don't know if everyone's heard of Tyler, the Creator, who sang this I Am the Grinch as part of the soundtrack of the one remake of The Grinch, or How the Grinch Stole Christmas. So I just thought this was kind of an apropos song to throw in there to, again, I don't want to bring us all down that we all hate Christmas because we don't, but I thought this was a great song to put in there to kind of sneak in there and have a little fun with.
I think sneak in there was probably a good way. I wasn't expecting that type of hip hop and rap type of a song, and it took me again, took me a couple times listening to it to kind of get a better appreciation of it. It's not the original. It's not the I like the original Grinch and the song and all of that. I'd never heard this one again. You guys are all surprising me with the songs I'd never heard. I almost thought I could go after this song and put on some Curtis Blow or something, and do some real rapping and all of that. There was but anyway, it was not my favorite song on the playlist, but I don't skim over it. I just listen and like, okay, we're rapping. We're on the Grinch. Okay, So anyway, interesting choice, but
I'll convert you yet, Dave. I'll convert you yet.
I know. There you go.
Yeah. So I didn't know that there had been another Grinch movie. No, I never saw, but I saw that Jim Carrey did one. I'm not sure that it went over very well. I love the original, so I'm assuming this new one or most recent was animated. Is
Mhm.
that correct? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because looking at the picture that goes with the video, and looked at some other songs in there. I'm gonna have to check out some of those songs. But this one, I like it. I'm not. I don't know that I've ever heard. Maybe I have unknowingly, unwittingly heard Tyler the Creator. But I was walking around the house going, I'm the Grinch. I can't quite do it like now. I sound like some kind of hick, but I was trying to. I was a lot less self-conscious about it doing it when nobody's around. Then my son heard me doing that and doing a couple of lyrics. He's like, "What is that?" I said, "That's Tyler the Creator." I mean, you're he's like, "You like Tyler the Creator?" And so I think I went up a notch in his appraisal of me. So he says he has several of his songs on his Apple Music playlist. I told him, play them for me. I want to check it out. But this one, yeah, it's fun. And there's some interesting, I have to look at, I had never looked at the lyrics. I usually do, but there's a couple things he says. I'm not really sure what he's saying or what exactly he's doing, but that doesn't matter. And the thing, it's very melodic in parts. It's kind of soulful when the female singer comes in, and it's just like, I don't know. I use the word groove way too much, but it's got a really good groove to it. So I haven't yet, but I am going to check out more of the songs. So I appreciate it. And I am a fan of, I don't know anything else on the old 60s or late 50s, whenever the Grinch Stole Christmas came out, the TV thing, Dr. Seuss. But the song, I love You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch. The guy with the deep voice. Oh, it's Burl something. I can't remember his name. He's on several Disney things too. But that does not take away from this in any way. So
No, it's Burl Ives,
I
and
think
I
it's
really was
Burl.
going
I
to
think
go
it's
with
Burl
that.
Ives.
Yeah,
it's not Burl Ives.
It's not
In fact,
Burl
I
Ives.
want to say, while we're
Oh,
on
it's
the
not
subject of
Burl
Burl
Ives.
Ives,
No.
no, it's like Burl Ravenscroft or some
Right.
name like no.
Oh.
He sang on the Heffalump and Woozle song, if you're familiar with Winnie the Pooh, and some other. Anyway,
Right. I was
but I
going to
do
go
wanna
with
say-
that original one, but I thought, no, I want to go with something different. I wanted to, again, throw y'all a little surprise.
Yeah, no, it's great. I had it on my list too, but I've heard it so many times. I wanted to get something in different, and the I really want to thank you guys for not putting any Burl Ives on. I really don't like Burl Ives. I know he was a very nice man, I'm sure, and he was an old folk singer and stuff, and he even did the voice of the snowman in Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, I think. Whatever. But no Holly Jolly Christmas or Silver and Gold. And also thank you for no Rocking Around the Christmas Tree and Jingle Bell Rock. Those just like, if I'm trapped in ATB and they're playing, it's just like I want to get out of there as fast as possible. Okay, I've gone on too long about that. So speaking of negative, my next song, it's almost not a song, but it's a Christmas song, and it's by I forget. Oh, Tom Lehrer. Gosh, how could I forget that? You may know Tom Lehrer mainly if you listen to Dr. Demento. He had a lot of songs went on there. Masochism Tango comes to mind. There's one about walking. Let's go walking through the park and Goose the Statues in the Dark. So I've got Poisoning Pigeons, another song. Anyway, that's not the sentiment here. However, he's not Mr. Ho Ho Ho. This is basically a screed on commercialism in Christmas, which needs to be addressed somewhere here. It's just way out of hand. Of course, it gets worse every year, and we all, one way or another, probably encourage it. Buying the stuff we buy or doing whatever. But yeah, so it really cracks me up. I listen to this every year, a few times. My kids love it. He gives a little introduction. And one interesting thing about him, he didn't have a very long window where he recorded and or performed music. It was late 50s to early mid 60s. And he did a few things later, on the Electric Company. He did some songs, like there was a Silent E song and an LY song. Look him up if you don't remember him. But anyway, he also he'd been in the military for several years before that, and he left. I think he left music and he became a math professor at MIT. And that was like that was and you can totally hear it. You know, he just sounds like that kind of guy, whatever that means. But he doesn't. I think he's still alive, and he just basically stopped performing. Is like I don't have any interest in doing that anymore, and went on. But there's a good couple albums out there to check out if you're interested.
No, I enjoyed the song a lot. It's funny because you mentioned Dr. Demento, and I this is why I love Mike, is because he always gives us these kind of novelty songs that are pretty hilarious. And it reminds me, me and my brothers used to listen to Dr. Demento. It came on at like Sunday at midnight for some reason, or some crazy time like that. But I love these kind of novelty songs that are put out there. And Mike comes through again with another great one in this one. And like you said, it addresses kind of the commercialism and how you get caught up in it. But makes it in a jingly jangly sort of Christmassy way that you're like, oh yeah, and then you realize, oh yeah, he's making fun of everybody, you know, or he's making a statement about commercialism and how that's how it's becoming. It's funny that was done in the 50s or 60s, you know, and it's still prevalent today. So yeah, I enjoyed this song. It gives me a good chuckle every time I hear it. You know, it flows, it goes along really well. It's just a great song, I think.
No, I like songs like this. I like the setup of it, how he set it up before he started singing the jingles, and then started taking a little jingle from each one, changing the verses, changing the words, and realizing that yeah, it's all about money and capitalism and spending and all the other things. So he kind of pokes fun in a satirical way at Christmas, and I thought it was very creative in how he did that, and I like that kind of thing. There's a couple other artists that I like too that do similar kind of things like that. I think I played there's a Steve Goodman, who's one of the kind of guys that did a lot of that kind of, let's do like a little funny song, about this, and so I kind of like that type of thing. It was a good curve. Said it's a curveball, but I think it was a good one for the playlist, and it made me laugh. And every time I hear it, I chuckle. So I thought it was a good selection. My next one that I went with was just a classic one that I put on, I think, every year, every playlist, everything I make. I always put this one on by Emerson, Lake and Palmer. It's I Believe in Father Christmas. I don't know. It has the feel to it with the da, 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 da. It has that in the background and the bells and that kind of thing. But I also like the lyrics of it. I'm hopeful for a hopeful Christmas, and and that kind of thing. It has a little bit of tinge of cynicism to it as well, if you really look at the lyrics of it. But mostly because he says at the end, the Christmas we get, we deserve. So it kind of makes you think there at the end. But yet it's more of an upbeat. You feel the Christmas spirit with the song, and yes, I figured to make it onto the playlist one way or the other, because it's one that I listen to every year when this time rolls around. I look for it. I went, oh, where's that Emerson, Lake and Palmer song? I want to listen to that. So that's why I put it on.
Yeah, this has been a favorite of mine for years. I like, he comes in on guitar, and then Keith Emerson ends on that it must be a grand piano he's playing. It's just like so big sounding, and it is. He's not pulling any punches either. He's not necessarily the biggest. I don't know. He's a little bit of a cynic about the whole thing, but it's a wonderful song. And the thing in the background that you were mentioning, it's a piece by Prokofiev that I think it's pronounced Lieutenant Kijé or Kij, whatever. It's a like a 4 or 5 part. I don't know if it's a symphony really, but thing that he worked up. There's another one. If you ever listen to it, you'll recognize it immediately. It's this little melody that they've used in so many movies when it was about, like, especially back in the Cold War and the Soviets or the Russians come on. There's this kind of menacing song, and so that's from that too. But and I always love it when I hear that. It's like it's a bonus. I get to hear a little bit of both songs. But yeah, love it.
Now, I distinctly remember when Dave played this song for me, because he's the one that turned me on to this song. I remember we used to listen to a lot of, and I'm sure this song is on one of the many mixtapes that we made back in the day. And funny, I don't think we ever made a holiday mixtape back in the day, but I know this song probably was made during one of those many sessions that we had. And of course, it's fantastic. It's like Emerson, Lake and Palmer is kind of like Jethro Tull in the sense that I'm surprised that we haven't put on many more Emerson, Lake and Palmer songs. I'm sure they're going to come. There are a lot of great songs out there by them. Love the Emerson, Lake and Palmer. And again, this is one of those with the tinge of cynicism. Again, Christmassy, a little cynicism, which I don't know. I know we didn't intend to make it that way, and I think, but this is leaning more towards the Christmassy stuff. So at least we're kind of getting out of the whole pessimism, cynicism kind of action. So, and trying to keep it with that vein, I went with the traditional Linus and Lucy. I forget the original. Mike, tell me who it is.
Vince Guaraldi.
Vince Guaraldi, but I used Moe's version because, well, Moe's one of my favorite bands, and they, in fact, we talk about people who put out Christmas albums. Moe, of all people, has a Christmas album. Why, I don't know, but they do. And most of the songs on there are, I consider, unlistenable. I mean, some are kind of silly, but you can't go wrong with this song. And of course, this song always reminds me of Christmas because, of course, we all watched the Charlie Brown Christmas special when we were kids. Came on every year. And I always loved Schroeder and him, even though it's not about them, it's about Linus and Lucy, their dynamic. But this song reminds you of Christmas. It just has become a part of America Christmas. And so I just thought, okay, I'm getting there. You know, it reminds me of Christmas. We know we're in that holiday spirit. You hear the song, it always works. You know, no matter, I mean, it's been done numerous times by numerous people. The original is probably the best, but, you know, I thought it was kind of funny that Moe did a version of it and put it out there. So again, I think it's part of all our lives, and I'm sure everyone has heard this song and thinks of Christmas when they hear it.
Well, I was surprised when you put it on, but I got excited as well. It's one of my favorite holiday and Christmas type songs. Like Mike said, the Vince Guaraldi. I actually like George Winston did it as well on piano, but kept to the Vince Guaraldi kind of theme on it. That's the version I have that I play all the time. But now that you've turned us on to Moe, and now that we've listened to quite a bit of it, I'm a huge fan. So when I started hearing it and thinking, oh, he's going to do this with guitar, in the style that Moe does, I was all for it, and I've listened to this song a lot of times in the last 2 weeks as well, the whole playlist. But so I really like it. It gets you up moving, and you know, and in that festive mood. And yeah, it was a good choice. Right away when you hear that dun, 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 you can't help but not be happy, you know, just like they do. And so again, I love the arrangement of it. I thought you did a great job with it.
Yeah, you know, you haven't gone wrong so far with the Moe songs, so keep them up. Everything I've heard so far I like, and I had never, I don't think I'd ever listened to him. I had seen the name, lowercase with a period at the end. I'm sure there's a story there. Yeah, this I really like. Well, I think it's mainly guitar. You know, it's a full band, I guess, but it's as opposed to the one that, you know, we're all more familiar with, which is piano. Yeah, I guess he had some other stuff in there, Vince Guaraldi. But they kind of do some things here I like the one, I don't know if you call it the chorus. This one part, he goes into, it's like a samba kind of, I don't know what you call that exactly. But my daughter could tell me, she loves samba. And then another part is like a bluesy, jazzy, which is a little bit like what he does on the original, with a walking bass line, just that kind of cool sound. Um, the we watched the original Charlie Brown Christmas. We watch like every year. It's kind of like obligatory at this point. Every time my daughter comes home, well, all right, Thanksgiving Day, we watch Charlie Brown Thanksgiving, and immediately after watch the Christmas. So I guess we got that out of the way from here. But that soundtrack, well, when I was a kid, that's like one of the first things I remember from TV or whatever. And so, especially that song, this song, Linus and Lucy, has been was always kind of, I didn't even think initially, I thought of it as Christmassy, because when I was a kid, it was just, that's the Snoopy song. I think that's what I call it. That's the Snoopy song. I don't think he has anything to do with it much in the show, but this soundtrack, I just love the whole thing. There's many other songs in there, and they're all just so well done. So if you haven't heard it, I recommend checking out the Charlie Brown Christmas soundtrack. So saying that, the next song is also from Charlie Brown Christmas. This is Sarah McLachlan. Christmas Time Is Here. I think there's two versions. There's a vocal version and an instrumental version on the original Charlie Brown soundtrack. This one features, Sarah McLachlan is singing. I don't know if she plays anything, but she's accompanied by Diana Krall, who's, among other things, Elvis Costello's wife, but very, very talented. She might challenge him for her musical abilities. They're both really good, but she on her own, some of her solo stuff I'm going to put on one of these days. And this one, I just like it because it like slows it down, but Sarah McLachlan has such a thing in her voice. I don't like all her songs, but I like a lot of them. And there's something about her voice that really, especially here, that kind of whispery kind of quality to it. So this is also on my usual Christmas time playlist, and I had included here.
Yeah, no, it was driving me crazy because I'm like, where have I heard this before? And I'm like, oh my God, I've heard this song, and it just drove me bonk. And every time I'd walk in here, I was like, man, I know this song, but then I really didn't know this song because, like you said, you're so used to the instrumental version or the other version. You're like, oh, okay, this is that. So I literally had to go back and look, and then I did my little research on it, and I thought, oh, that's right, this is what that is. And no, thoroughly enjoyed it. I enjoy Sarah McLachlan songs. Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of her, but when you hear it, you know who she is, and she has such a soulful, I think a spiritual type of voice where it really grabs you at the heart. And this is one of those songs. Okay, Christmas time is here. This is reminding you that Christmas is here. This is part of Christmas. Nice song, but yeah, fantastic choice. A good follow up to my song, I thought.
Yeah, I always did the same thing. I'm like, I know. At first, I thought, oh, this is just one of those Christmas songs that's like an old timey one that everyone plays. And it wasn't until I listened to it 2 or 3 times that I went, oh wait, that's the same thing from the Charlie Brown Christmas, and from all. I guess if I had been thinking about it, I should have came in with Schroeder playing "Oh Christmas Tree" right after that, right, or something. But no, dude, I liked it. It slowed it down. It stayed with the Vince Guaraldi kind of theme, but yet it was Sarah McLachlan. I haven't heard a lot of Sarah McLachlan, but every time I hear her, I like it. So it's like I don't know a lot of her work, but every time I've heard her, I thought, oh, she's really good, great singer. So I appreciated the song. I liked how it brought it down, and it was real bluesy, slow kind of Christmas thing. And I like sometimes those sad, sappy Christmas songs as well that they play. So again, it was good. At that point, then I'm like, do I come back up and do something upbeat, or do I kind of stay down a little bit? And for some reason, this song popped into my head, but the next one which was "Do You Hear What I Hear" by Carrie Underwood. And this is probably the most traditional of all the songs that we have on the playlist. Where, okay, this is a Christmas carol. It's been sung hundreds and hundreds of times. I like her version of it. I like the song itself. I mean, I sing the song all the time. Not to give you too much information or anything either, but it's one of my go-tos in the shower during the Christmas time. Know all the lyrics. I know the words. So that and Drummer Boy, Little Drummer Boy. I'm going to sing that one as well. So this is one of those ones that I not only listen to a lot, but I sing a lot. I like the message of it. And so this Carrie Underwood version is, I think, one of the best versions I've ever heard of the song, and just one of my favorite classic Christmas songs.
Yeah, as far as Christmas songs, Christmas carols, this is one of my favorites. Silent Night, which it's hard to surpass that one in my opinion, and a few others. But this is one always when I hear it on the radio, I always like it. I've never heard her, I think, at all. I had heard the name so many times, but I didn't. And I looked her up, and okay, so she got her start on, was it America's Got Talent or one of those? Correct me.
American Idol.
American Idol. Okay, yeah, American Idol. So she has a very beautiful voice, and I always thought she was like a country singer, but apparently she does a lot of other stuff too. So I'm gonna have to check her out. But kudos for putting this on. This is the most traditional carol-y we get on here, and that's great. I'm glad we have this on. I appreciate it.
Now I'm gonna agree. It was stunning that we got all the way down to this, and this is kind of one of the only traditional songs. Now I will say, Dave, what rap is to you is what country music is to me, what Carrie Underwood is to that. So yeah, it's not gonna be one of these songs I could be throwing on all the time, but I don't mind listening to it. It's great to hear. Like you said, I'm not gonna take anything away from her. She has a fantastic voice. I've heard, obviously, I'm not going to say that I haven't heard other songs, because I have heard some of her other songs, and she's an amazing talent, and her voice carries it. Obviously, it's why she's so popular. So, again, country's not my thing. It's not going to be the one I'm going to throw on first, but I don't mind listening to this song. And like you said, it's part of the tradition. It's a traditional Christmas song that puts you right there. And it really isn't one of those traditions in the sense that, it's like, it kind of, the real spirit, if you want to put it that way, of what Christmas is all about. I don't want to sound like all preachy or anything, but I didn't mind this one at all. In fact, I enjoyed it. Again, it's not going to be the top of my list. Carrie Underwood's not going to be, but again, I don't mind it here. And I think that what happened over the course of this, hearing these songs, is that you get such a wide variety, such a great swath of Christmas songs and varying views, and this just kind of fit right in there to kind of remind you, hey, let's not really lose sight of what's going on around here. And I thought this kind of fit that perfectly. So with that being said, just to get me in the Christmas spirit, the only song that I had Christmas in was Step Into Christmas by Elton John, which actually was a single. I had to look this up. It's in that little part of the Goodbye Yellow Brick Road era, and they actually made a video of it. I have not seen this video before. I guess Bernie Taupin makes a special appearance in it, and it's just one of those Elton John songs that you rarely get to hear or listen to. And in fact, growing up, I don't think I ever remember hearing it. I've heard it a couple of times growing up, and I'm sure Dave has played it for me at least once or twice since we listened to a crap ton of Elton John in our lives. And I thought, this is a perfect song to put right in here. I thought, I'm going to step into Christmas. I'm unlike the Grinch. Yes, my heart can grow too, and I can be part of the Christmas spirit. I'm not going to, just be a total jerk about it. So, and that's one of the reasons I picked it. It's a fun song. You're stepping to Christmas. Let's get into the Christmas spirit. Let's all get together. Let's remind each other that, yes, it's a time to love. It's a time to be a part of Christmas. It's a time to enjoy each other's company. And so I thought this song kind of fit into that vein.
Well, we need to come up with a term. I don't know what it is. It's when you wanted to put a song on, you know you wanted to put a song on, you have it on your list, and somebody else puts it on for you. You get extra bonus, extra bonus points. This is one of those ones where yeah, I was probably going to play it anyway. I listen to it every year. I'm a huge Elton John fan. Probably had more of his albums than any other artist there was. Even the bad Elton John albums, I had every one of them. I picked those up at the half price books or at the app, wherever we went, where they had the cheap records.
Apple Records.
Apple record, yeah. So we would pick up the cheap ones, and after I got into collecting albums and listening to music, it was like, oh yeah, this is a good one. That's Elton John. It's $1.50 or whatever. It was really cheap, so picked them all up. But yeah, so I've always liked this song. Um, uh, yeah, just a huge fan. So thanks for putting it on. Saved me spared me one. So it's like I got a bonus pick.
Yeah, this is another one that I again, maybe I didn't hear when I was a kid so much, but through my teen years and on, it's like one of those that I don't get tired of. I love it, and it does have. You talk about the good and the bad, Elton John. There's certainly, if it had been done later, I don't think I would. It probably wouldn't have been as good a song, in different periods in his life. But this, back when it really has that kind of feel to it of the time period when he was doing some of those classic albums. And yeah, it's positive, great message. I gotta say honestly, he puts a lot into this, and there's a ton of rock musicians, whatever, out there. It's almost like they have to put out the obligatory Christmas song, and there's one in particular I'm thinking of who I'm not going to name, but I like his music very much. And his one main Christmas song he put out is just like something he slapped together, and they play it all the time on the radio. But this one stands the test of time, and I love it. I don't know. There's not really anything else I can say about it. I could go on and on, but it just basically boils down to I love this song. So, my last song is it's a version of old Auld Lang Syne. The band is Michael Dusay and Beausoleil, excuse me. They do a lot of Zydeco and other stuff. They've been on a couple of soundtracks. I think there was a movie called, I'm not even going to try to pronounce it right, but something like Bel Azir, the Cajun, something like that. And then there was another, The Big Easy, that he had some songs. Did I pronounce that right or wrong? Anybody know? Anyway, whatever. And this one, so I'm still learning his stuff, but I really like it. This one, it starts out really slow, and if you're hearing it for the first time, I kind of wondered when we're listening to this at the same time, like, what do these guys think this is going to be? It's like a single fiddle playing this really slow Auld Lang Syne, but then it starts, the other band members start coming in, and it's kind of building up, but still it's like this slow thing, and then it hits you with the Zydeco upbeat the rest of the song, and that's why I put it on for that part. But you have to wait through the other stuff. So that's about all. He has a whole record, I think, of Cajun style Christmas holiday songs. I've been meaning to find it. Some of these you can't find on Apple Music where we do these playlists. But anyway, he has another song, Zydeco Gree Gree. I can't tell you what that means, but it's a really fun song. And it's going to make it on one of these playlists one of these days. So there you go. That's my last song. Happy New Year. Merry Christmas.
No, I agree. I agree with you. I literally, he's going to put Auld Lang Syne on. You're like, what's this? Can we hear this song? We all have our interpretation of this song. Is it going to be the old, It's a Wonderful Life? Yeah. No, instead, like you said, it really is upbeat. I'm a sucker for the Zydeco sound. I like that sound. I like how it sounds. I like how their take on it. Okay, I'm gonna go back to my Fish. Fish plays it every year. Is that their New Year's show? So you always get to hear the song every year on New Year's Eve. But to hear a different version like this, I kind of like this one better. I wish they would play this one when the ball dropped in Times Square instead of the traditional one that we always have to listen to and you know and try to figure out those lyrics and drunkenly stumble our way through this song. But this song is a great version of it. The Zydeco feel to it is fantastic. Yeah, I think, like you said, like with all these songs, and here's my state, it does get you in the holiday spirit, whether you like it or not. These are songs. Yes, we're not going with anything of the traditional, which I enjoyed immensely, but at the same time, it's all about Christmas, and it should remind you of that. And this is one of those again that as we came towards the end of this, I think we all kind of had that kind of feel to it of like, oh, that's right, it is holiday. Yeah, sure, we have our fun with our sides, our side songs, or breaking the rules, so to speak. But this one really, okay, let's go with it. And I like that we did do that. That it went in this direction, and we didn't go completely cynical, or we didn't go completely Christmassy. That we had the wide variety that we have, and this kind of fit right into that.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised by, I know the tune "Auld Lang Syne." You can't have Christmas without New Year's, and ending it with something like that was really good. Never heard of Michael Doucette, and but as I've listened to it over and over again, I love the feel of it. I like the jazz piano kind of vibe to it. It makes you want to, even though they're not singing the song, you know the song, and so I thought that was kind of neat. There's a song by Dan Fogelberg that I was thinking about putting on at the end that was "Auld Lang Syne," but it's more about meeting your old high school love or whatever in a grocery store, and they start talking and realizing that they were reminiscing about the past, and I'm like, that's not the right message, I don't think. And so I like the fact that it just was "Auld Lang Syne," but it was just no vocal, no, it was just instrumental, and I liked it. I liked it a lot. Um, uh, and then the last song, I didn't know what to put on the end. There were several things I thought of, and I just thought, I think this is sometimes underappreciated a little bit, but I like Jose Feliciano, and I like Feliz Navidad. Every year it comes on the radio. I hear it a lot. I probably don't think I had it in any of my collections or anything like that. It's just I heard it on FM radio every year when Christmas would come around, and it's easy enough to know that once you know it, you know the song, you know the lyrics, you know everything about it. And so I just thought it would be a good festive way to end the playlist by putting something that everyone probably knows. And get a little international flair to it as well. So anyway, Feliz Navidad to everyone.
Let me just throw on that this song is obviously huge in the Hispanic community because, of course, it was a breakthrough for us. Not to mention that the guy's name is Jose and my name is Jose, but this is one of those songs in the Hispanic community that, of course, made a huge impact because now we're being recognized, so to speak. We're being represented in the Christmas world with this Hispanic. Heck, my mom sings this song when I play the playlist for her, and yes, she listens to all of them, even the rap ones, and doesn't even mind those. This one she knows and sings along with it and enjoys it, and was, I think, was a little stunned that it was on my Christmas playlist, but was so happy to hear it because it has been a staple in my life, really, and in the Hispanic community. Not to say that it's strictly for Hispanics or anything like that, but of course, when you can incorporate the way we grew up in the early 70s and stuff, where you're just trying to get a full hold, Hispanics trying to get a full hold, that this song is more than just a fun-loving Christmas song. It is a breakthrough for because it introduced him to a whole new audience that didn't know who he was or didn't and of course everyone now thinks they can speak Spanish because they can say Feliz Navidad. you know, right? Oh my God, I know Spanish, you know. So I love the song, and I just want to point that out. That yeah, it's a great way to end the and I applaud it because, of course, you know, being Hispanic, it really represents a lot for me and the community.
Yeah, I think it's a good way to end too, because among other things, it's like something we all know, and it probably, I don't know about you guys, but it takes me back to my childhood. I've heard this on the radio many times. I've never gotten tired of it. Unlike a lot of other songs I've heard over the years repeatedly. This one, and it's hard not to move listening to this song too. I mean, it's like, you know, all right, we have all these questioning and commercial Christmas criticisms and the ups and downs, the dark stuff that's happening, but it's all about what's going on during this time. But now it's just like, you know, let's cut loose and enjoy this part. And yeah, I love Spanish. That was, you know, I've always heard Spanish through my whole life living in Texas. You can't not, but it really was one of the first mainstream songs that I remember. Most of the stuff I heard when I was a kid that had any kind of Spanish was Tijuana Brass, and they're not really they're not representative of anything much. But yeah, I'm going on too much, but I really appreciate it, and I appreciate, guys, everything we did here. It's all the songs we've had. So I don't know. I guess I can go ahead and say I just want to say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's coming up. Hopefully we'll talk again before then. But it's been a good time, and I think I'm blessed to have had this kind of reflowering of our relationship and putting together this music. You know, thank you.